the only man Pablo Escobar respected. What's up, Narco? Gang, welcome back to the channel. Y'all not subscribe. You already know, do it that like button and subscribe button. Hit that bell notification. We dropped today's videos about Pablo Escobar and the only man that he respected out of the whole world. The man called him Don Pablo. Don Pablo. With that being said, let's get to this content, Narco. Gang.
Pablo Escobar wasn't a man who bowed to others. However, there was one person he
28
always
of
treated
what?
with absolute respect,
Is
bowed
that
to
Mars?
others.
This nigga living on Mars? What the fuck?
However, there was one person he always treated with absolute respect, Don Fabio Ochoa Restrepo, a calm, rural-looking man, a horse lover, and
Don Fabio.
Everyone simply called Don
OG.
Fabio.
Don Pablo Escobar.
Today, I'm going to tell you the story of Don Fabio.
So Don Fabio gave Pablo Escobar the name Don Pablo. That's
Ochoa,
fire. That's fire.
Patriarch of the Ochoa clan and the only man Pablo Escobar truly respected in his entire life.
So
Fabio
what did he do?
Ochoa Restrepo, or simply known as
Oh, I heard.
Fabio, was a
I heard Fabio Ochoa. Look, if y'all don't know, gang, I'm one of the biggest mobster fans ever, gang. Like for real, for real. I play every Mafia game. I played every Godfather game, every Scarface game, bro.
wealthy cattle rancher from Antioquia, a successful businessman and a passionate breeder of fine paso
So was he
horses.
selling drugs
For
too?
decades, he was well known in his region for having built his fortune through famous ranches and restaurants.
Oh,
But
so
above
he don't
all,
even sell.
He was the patriarch of the Ochoa Vasquez family. He
Ochoa,
was the
I
father
know
of
that.
3 sons, Jorge Luis, Juan David, and Fabio Ochoa Vasquez,
Juan
better
David?
known as Fabito. They were known as the Ochoa brothers. These weren't just any men, they became notorious drug traffickers and high-ranking
so they
members
is
of the
drug
Medellin cartel, which they founded alongside Pablo Escobar.
The Medellin? Hold on.
And high-ranking members of the Medellin cartel,
Oh,
which
who the
they
fuck
founded
is?
alongside
What's the Medellin? Is that you trying to say Medellin? The Medellin cartel?
Pablo Escobar. The story of this family's involvement in the drug trade dates back to
Hold on, they sprinkling cocaine on weed. They sprinkling cocaine on weed, gang.
The story of this family's involvement in the drug trade dates back to the 1970s, during the rise of cocaine trafficking in Colombia. The Ochoa brothers and their father dove headfirst into the business, with Jorge Luis Ochoa, the eldest of the siblings. He was the first to open routes into the United States and secured key contacts to ship cocaine.
I ain't gonna lie, if I was his
handling
son,
a few shipments, he brought his 2 younger
I ain't gonna lie, if I was his son, bro, I would do the same thing. I would do, nigga, what?
brothers into the operation. Eventually, together with Pablo Escobar and other Paisa kingpins, they founded the Medellin cartel in 1978, a criminal empire that would go on to control 80% of the world's cocaine supply. It's no coincidence that Escobar appeared on Forbes' list of billionaires for 7 consecutive years. The Ochoas, second in command.
7 years, gang? What the hell?
And after Escobar also managed to build enormous fortunes. Still, they kept up a facade of respectability thanks to their father. In the eyes of the public, they were seen as elegant horsemen, traditional landowners, and successful businessmen from Medellin. But beneath that polished image, they were major players in the global cocaine empire. So what was Don Fabio's relationship with Pablo Escobar like?
That was his big homie, shit.
You could say Don Fabio was almost a father figure to him.
His big homie.
Keep in mind, Fabio Ochoa was 25 years older than Pablo. Don Fabio was a true gentleman, calm, experienced, and with a strong aura of respect. He wasn't a young gun chasing fame, but an older businessman who preferred discretion and peace. Pablo Escobar valued Don Fabio's position and experience. It's said that he treated him with genuine respect, always calling him Don Fabio as a sign of reverence. And although he was a key figure in the world of drug trafficking, Don Fabio never lost his composure and was never a violent man. Escobar admired his cold intelligence and natural authority as a patriarch. And he wasn't just respected by drug lords like Pablo. Most of Colombia's elite simply saw him as a prosperous cattle rancher. That duality allowed him to operate as a shadow figure of power. He supported his sons and allies, but without ever getting his hands dirty.
I like
and
that.
Escobar knew it. That's
Big dog shit.
Special kind of respect for him.
Saludo a mis hijos, mis nietos
My friends and my horsemen, my friend and all horsemen in general.
Don Fabio represented the old-school mafia,
gotta show respect to
built
your
on
people.
family codes, discretion, and honor, a far cry from the indiscriminate violence that defined Pablo.
He's a big dude on a horse, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
The most curious part is that by the end of that decade, his sons were already on the FBI's list of the 10 most wanted
$5
criminals,
million?
while Don Fabio was profiting from the same illicit business, quietly, without fame and without being pursued by the government. In reality, there was no evidence to incriminate Don Fabio, while there was plenty against his sons.
That's crazy
that mutual
work.
respect, because Don Fabio also had deep respect for Pablo Escobar, was solidified by the kidnapping of Marta Nieves Ochoa, Don Fabio's daughter and the youngest sister of the Ochoa brothers. This happened in late 1981. In November of that year, Marta Nieves...
So I'm guessing Don Fabio's sons went to jail. Don Pablo stayed out, and then, they linked up and they just made this shit go crazy.
was leaving her university in Medellin when she was intercepted by armed men and forced into a car. Who was behind it? A commando unit from the M19 Urban Guerrilla Group, which at the time was also seeking power. They knew that kidnapping the daughter of powerful drug traffickers could bring in a massive ransom. When Don Fabio received the news, it's said to have been a devastating blow, especially since she was his youngest daughter. The incident unleashed the fury of Medellin's top drug lords, including Pablo Escobar. On December 1st, 1981, just weeks after
Las
the abduction of Escobar,
that's it?
on December 1st,
I just said Las Margaritas.
1981, just weeks after the abduction, the Ochoa brothers called for an emergency meeting in Medellin. Dozens of Colombia's drug bosses attended, along with some of the wealthiest cattle ranchers, all worried about the safety of their own families. Each capo contributed.
I bet you all them drink margaritas. They didn't even drink Don Julio's and none of that shit. They were like, man, bring me a margarita.
Money and armed men. In the end, they formed a private army of over 2,000 hitmen ready to rescue Marta and let the guerrilla know they were messing with the wrong people. This paramilitary group was called MAS, short for Death to Kidnappers. The pressure they exerted was so overwhelming that, after 92 days in captivity, the guerrilla released Marta Nieves without receiving a single peso in ransom. Imagine the relief and joy Don Fabio must have felt when he got his daughter back safe and sound. Pablo Escobar, who had supported the creation of MAS, also reinforced his alliance with the Ochoa family during those difficult hours. Escobar had been there for the Ochoa family when they needed him the most. But unfortunately, as with most relationships between criminals, the relationship between Pablo Escobar and the Ochoa clan wouldn't always be smooth sailing. In 1990, President Cesar Gaviria offered a law for voluntary surrender. Basically, he promised no extradition to the United States, reduced sentences, and fair treatment for any drug trafficker who turned themselves in.
We have got to the point where literally anybody can build a fully working app without knowing how to code. This is Base 44.
Many kingpins saw it as their lifeline, and this is where Don Fabio once again showed his authority. According to his own daughter, as soon as the offer was made public, Don Fabio called his 3 sons and gave them a direct order. Now turn yourselves in and take responsibility for your mistakes.
What?
Without hesitation, Jorge Luis Don Fabio called his 3 sons and gave them a direct order. Now turn yourselves in and take responsibility for your mistakes.
Nigga, you the one that got me started doing it.
David and Fabito obeyed their father. Think about the weight of those words. He didn't suggest it, he ordered it. And the 3 capos, who by then were internationally feared, followed that command. It's said that the Ochoa brothers, ready to pay for their crimes at their father's command, tried to convince Escobar to do the same.
What? Hell no.
But Pablo flatly rejected the idea.
Hell yeah.
In essence, Escobar was telling them he hadn't come this far just to surrender like an ordinary criminal.
Nigga, dead
on. That response marked the definitive break between Escobar and the Ochoa family. To Escobar, that moment felt like betrayal. The end of Don Fabio Ochoa's story was very different from that of Pablo Escobar. After his sons surrendered in 1991, he practically withdrew from any public controversy. He returned to what he considered his true life: horses, legal businesses, and family. The life he always claimed as his own. not that of a drug trafficker. By then, he was already dealing with health issues related to his age, worsened by his weight. On February 18, 2002, Don Fabio died at the age of 77 in his home in Envigado, Antioquia, due to kidney failure. He died the same way he lived much of his life, dedicated to breeding fine Paso horses. He never set foot in prison, nor was he ever involved in any act of violence. What is known is that he was deeply respected, even by the drug lords he associated with, a contradiction that led many to believe he was involved in illicit activities. Still, nothing was ever proven, and he was never convicted by the government. What is certain is that this man was one of the most respected figures in Colombia, even by the most powerful drug lord in the world, Pablo Escobar. Thanks for watching till the end of this video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to subscribe and leave a like. It really helps the channel grow. And if you...
I ain't gonna lie, bro, this is actually crazy. Like, you gonna start me in this business. You the reason why I'm doing this, but now you gonna demand me to go to jail? Like, how much time did they get? It didn't say that. How much time they did? Life? Because they giving El Chapo life. You know what I'm saying? Type shit. They giving his sons, if they catch him, they giving them life. So, I'm not finna what? I'm with Pablo Escobar on this one. I ain't coming this far just to sit my ass in jail for the rest of my life, bro. They gonna have to come catch me. And you see what happened to him? Pablo Escobar went and motherfucking built a prison for himself, nigga. He like, I'm gonna build my own prison, nigga. And I'm gonna do my own time in my own prison in Medellin. I ain't going to no American federal prison, bro. No. So with that being said, y'all hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, also hit that bell to be notified of everything that we drop. Let me know what y'all think about this in the comments. Who y'all favorite drug trafficker? Is it El Chapo? Is it Don Fabio? Is it Don Pablo? You know, I'm sure there's plenty more. But with that being said, we out to stay Narko gang. Peace.